23 races into the Wawa Cup Series, and all of them have been for points and for a championship. Tonight, we forget about the championship for a little while and have some fun here on the short track. It's going to be a fun and long night here for the all-star event of the Wawa Cup Series, and we begin the festivities tonight with the Wawa Open. The winner and only the winner of this race advances on to the Winners Showdown later on tonight. Let's see who gets it done at 30 laps here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park here in Brownsburg, Indiana. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Indianapolis Raceway Park. We are here for our second straight night. We were here last night for the Sprint Series, and very interesting race that was, and Corey Case won that race by over 6 seconds. I don't think we're going to see that margin in any of the races here tonight. Big reason why is we have ourselves a special tire that falls off very quickly, and these guys aren't even going to be able to make it on fuel the whole way through this race. And this is only a 30-lap race here for the Wawa Open. Winter Showdown is 75 laps. We'll have a slightly larger fuel cell for that race, but it's definitely going to get interesting because these guys are going to have to make pit stops at certain times, and tire wear being as significant as it is will definitely make this strategy very interesting. It'll be a very strategic night, but this one here, this race is pretty straightforward and simple, and it's kind of just like the Winter Showdown. The winner and only the winner advances on, so we got ourselves 24 drivers in this field for a 30-lap race, thrown alongside Caleb Rose once again. You got all three of your drivers in the Winter Showdown. But if you had somebody in this field, what would you be telling them going into this race, knowing that only the winner makes it on to the main event later on tonight?
Yeah, I'd probably just, I think you want to try to get up to the front as quickly as you possibly can, especially with the fast degrading tire. Like you mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see how that will all develop, but yeah, I think that's what you want to try to do, just get up to the front as quick as possible, and might have to watch out for some of these guys starting towards the front of the field, like Matt Tuck, Braden Perez, Matthew Hubert, all starting towards the front and have showed speed in the Wawa Cup Series, just haven't got the win and have to fight for their spot here in the Open. We'll have to see how it all goes down here tonight, but really, really excited to see how this all goes down. And like you mentioned, no points on the line for this one, all just for fun and bragging rights. And I'm really looking forward to see how this all shakes out here from IRP.
It's going to be a fun one, no doubt about it. Of course, Matt Tuck almost made it onto the Winter Showdown on Saturday at Pocono. He was just a 1/10 of a second behind Blaine Keyes in that Hers Forever Good 400. Had a great points day, running well in the Wawa Cup Series chase coming into this one. But I'm sure what's on Matt Tuck's mind right now is get the race victory. There's no excuse not to get to this one because there is no Blaine Keyes, there's no Nicolas Samudio, there's no Rogal Dorn, there's no Thomas Troxell in this race. You're the best driver out here in points coming into this one, and the starting lineup for this race determined by the current point standings in the Wawa Cup Series, so that's why you see Matt Tuck and Braden Perez are two chase drivers who are in this race starting on the front row. Behind them, it's Matthew Hubert in the number 0, another driver who has been excellent as of late. Almost got the win at Chicagoland a couple weeks ago to the inside there of Brian Webb. Got Travis Crampton and Laura Chung there in row number 3. Bryce Egan starts to the inside of Brady Mardi Gras in row 4. Philip Torres and Justin Zidell. Berto Diacomo won the first non-points event of the year in the Meliela Smooth Fest at New Smyrna. That was not a points-paying win. That does not qualify him for the Winner's Showdown. He's to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater. You got Sam at Oskin and Andrew Miller in the 97. Roberto Crown Jr., Bernardi Oliveira in row number... I lost count there. Row number 7? Row number 8. Remember, are we on row number 8 right there? I think we are. Seth Cole, Brad Stover in row 9. Yeah, we are on row 9. And then we've got ourselves Jesse Turner, Ace Garcia in row 10. Row 11 is Tanner Pardon and last night's winner of Corey Case. And then we got the 31 of Joey Brown to the inside of Joshua Brown in the 00. This is the first time Joshua Brown has raced his way in to a Wawa Cup Series event this year. And once you know it, it's the Wawa Open. They're starting the 00 for Team Williams. But only 30 laps. There will be a mid-race break in this event, 15 laps in, and they will definitely go in for tires and fuel to make it to the end, but that's not to say we won't end up with a caution. And if we do end up with any cautions, we'll do our best to make sure that that caution period is as short as it possibly can be, so we get as much racing in as possible. Like I mentioned, the winner and only the winner of this event moves on to the Winners Showdown, but they do not get to qualify. They will start 17th in the Wawa Winners Showdown later on tonight. Qualifying, single car qualifying for the 16 drivers who are already in the Winners Showdown will be right after this race. And then, of course, later on in this same video, we're going to just keep it all in the same video so you guys don't have to click off and go anywhere. It's going to be the Wawa Winners Showdown for $40 for the winner and then $15 for the owner. And hey, you got a good shot at that one, Caleb. Of course, all 16 of the points-paying race winners this season already locked into that race. We're going to add one more here tonight here in the Wawa Open. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Indianapolis Raceway Park. And Caleb, very strong field up front, even though none of them have gone the victory lane yet this year. A couple of them have won Wawa Cup Series races. Who's getting it done here tonight in the Wawa Open?
Yeah, we got a lot of strong cars here up towards the front, and definitely a lot of names who want to get it done here tonight and make it into the main event. Especially Matt Tuck and Braden Perez there on the front row. Both have not had quite the seasons they were looking for. They both still made the chase, but Perez and Tuck, maybe a bit of a drop-off from last season. But, you know what? I'm honestly looking at that zero of Matthew Hubert. He's absolutely been lighting it up lately. Just barely missed out on a late charge at the chase, but I think I'd watch out for him to potentially get it done here tonight.
Just going to have to see. That's where the winner won last night with Corey Case starting third, and I remember you picked Corey Case to win that one, and he went on to win. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Here we go as they come across the line. We're green flag racing for 30 laps in the Wawa Open. And a good jump out of Matt Tuck right there on the inside lane. That inside is going to have the preferred grip throughout the night, and that is showing right there with Matthew Hubert getting a good jump as well in the Zero Machine, and Perez slipping back on the outside lane. Of course, we will have a mid-race break here, so the tire wear and the pit strategy going to be a huge factor, and if you're one of these guys in the back of the field, maybe you try to pull something to maybe get up front in this race, but Matt Tuck clearing ahead to the race lead right now with Matthew Hubert, Travis Crampton, Braden Perez, and Bryce Egan, the top five. Trying to single file it out right here. Philip Torres getting around Brian Webb right there. This guy's on the outside lane. Nowhere to go for him right now. And definitely not working out for him at the moment. But Matt Tuck holding on to this race lead here on lap number 3.
Already showing here early. The outside is definitely where you don't want to be, especially this early on.
Caution already. Caution on the racetrack. And it's the 31 again. Once you know
31.
It. Joey Brown and Andrew Miller. So an opportunity now for these drivers to come down the pit lane, and this is going to shake things up in terms of how this all goes because, hey, those tires are wearing out very quick, and even though they're probably still running some of the fastest laps they will run in this race, we'll see if anyone decides to come down right here. If nobody does, we'll have a quick caution and get them back out there. We'll still have our mid-race break at this rate. So Matt Tuck, oh, here we go. Matthew Hubert, Travis Crampton, Braden Perez coming down, Bruno Diacomo, Sam Manozkin, and a lot of the guys from the back of the field coming down the pit lane here. But a couple of guys staying out, and, you know, if you're someone like Philip Torres, Bryce Egan, want to get that track position, maybe have a shot on Matt Tuck here before the stage break. So now we're going to follow with Hubert and these guys. Are they going to take tires? That's the big question, because that tire wear very significant, and not many people stayed out. So if you're Matthew Hubert, maybe go with 2 tires or 4 tires, try to get an advantage here, and maybe get that race lead. Looks like they may just be topping off on fuel, however, so definitely an interesting call right there. That's also something. They cannot make the full length of this race on fuel, on the tank of fuel that they have. We're also burning the fuel. We don't have as high of a fuel cell for these guys here tonight. And no one taking the tires. So, you know, if I were on the pit lane, I would have taken tires, but not the case right there. All right, let's go ahead and see what happened real quick and get back to racing here in the Wawa Open. There are 3 things that are guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and the number 31 getting spun out or wrecked or causing a wreck in the Wawa Cup Series. And that is what the 31, this time of Joey Brown, got into, although I don't think this was necessarily his fault. Bernardi Oliveira kind of splitting the middle right there and just sending that 31 into the outside wall. And Andrew Miller nowhere to go in the 97. The good thing is both drivers will be able to continue on. They are not knocked out of the race. Minor damage on both of these cars, but they will be sent to the back of the field because of this one here at IRP.
Well, aggression's high early on in this event, trying to get up to the front. You're going to see here 3 wide into turn number 1. And the 31 goes around off of the bumper of Bernardo de Oliveira, and nowhere to go for the 97 of Andrew Miller. But tough break there for the 31 of Joey Brown. That Titan Fury hot seat ride just cannot catch any kind of break this season, and unfortunately it's going to get from bad to worse here at IRP. But luckily, silver lining to it all is that they do have only minor damage and will be able to continue on. So we'll have to see what they do, but had some split strategy under this caution. It'll be interesting to see how this all goes down and how it plays out.
We'll have to see if they get an advantage as this race goes along during that mid-race break. Matt Tuck stays out. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the Wawa Open and IRP. We're back here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, the Wawa Open, the qualifier race for the Wawa Winners Showdown coming up later tonight here on AG, the channel, right here in this video, so you don't have to step away. Gonna have qualifying, single car qualifying to be exact right after that. Everybody's still in the race. Had a lot of guys top off on fuel, but no one took tires, which bit of a questionable call right there. 7 guys stayed out. They're led by Matt Tuck. You got Philip Torres, Bryce Egan, Jesse Turner, Bernardi Oliveira, Ace Garcia, and how about Joshua Brown, first time in a Cup car. Actually, may not be the first time in a Cup car. He may have made a couple races last year, but first time in the Cup car this season. They are in 7th. Matthew Huber was the first one off the pit lane. Travis Crampton and Laura Chung back in there. But like I said, they don't have fresher tires, so really no advantage to just have more fuel, which, hey, they're going to need fuel the whole way through to make it to this race. Matt Tuck with a good jump. Still going to have our mid-race break at lap 15, excuse me. And all these guys essentially on equal footing right here, and Matt Tuck just darting away from Philip Torres right there.
That was an excellent restart there by the 54 of Tuck, absolutely gapping the 20 of Philip Torres. However, Torres actually kind of trying to reel the 54 back in here, as he's kind of pulled away a little bit from the 69 of Bryce Egan. But that was, yeah, like you mentioned, that was a really interesting call right there. And oh, where'd the 0 go? Uh-oh.
Matthew Hubert back down the pit lane.
Oh, no.
Did something go wrong? I don't know. There's nothing on the penalty board for the 0, so I'm not entirely sure what the issue is for Matthew Hubert. Wondering if they got him for speeding on pit lane. That's such a shame for Matthew Hubert. A couple more guys in the back there coming down. Brian Webb and Brad Stover. So don't exactly know what the issue is for some of those guys who came down the pit lane, but definitely some issues on the pit lane for some of our drivers, and that's essentially going to take them out of contention. Very good chance that there could have been some penalties given trying to come down the pit lane right there. There was definitely a lot of stuff going on in the back of the field right there. 31's also down, but Joey Brown has damage to his race car there. So we got some tires here for Bryce Egan, or not Bryce Egan, Brian Webb in the 13 machine. Very unique stuff going on there in the back, but I don't know. We've seen a lot of crazy pit road mishaps throughout this whole season. Travis Crampton, Braden Perez still out there. A lot of the guys who did, in fact, come down are still out there, except for Matthew Hubert in the 0, who is now a lap down, and only unless he drives his way to the front of the field, he is not going to get that lap back. That's a shame there for one of the strongest drivers who missed the chase this season.
I'm sorry about that, Matthew. I got Case right last night, so I guess the jinx was coming eventually, so I apologize for that, but I don't really know what was going on there. Just so much stuff just happened. You had some cars come down for, I guess, penalties, maybe bonked for speeding on pit road or something, and then we had some come down maybe to fix damage like the 31, and Brian Webb came down and took tires. I also saw the 31.
Could be a strategy too. If they get on the tail end of the lead lap, get their lap back, they will be waved around. So that's also a possible strategy that they're playing right there, especially if you're Brian Webb in the 13. I don't know. Could be some strategy play right here, because we'll have to see. Would imagine the rest of these drivers are going to be coming out of the pit lane here on the mid-race break. We're going to see that in just a moment. How about Bernardi Oliveira? Fast car tonight. Up to now the 3rd position as he gets around Bryce Egan right here. We'll have to see if he can hold that speed the whole way through and maybe race his way in. Of course, only the winner of this race makes it on. There's no fan vote. There's no second place. Just the winner of this race. And you got arguably one of the best drivers leading this field. He's 3rd in Wawa Cup Series points right now coming into this race. So you know Matt Tuck is a solid driver driving for one of the best teams. Just hasn't gotten that race win yet this season. So we'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out. We're going to call it right here. And this is how we do it, in case you didn't know, with this cool little feature we've got. I got to thank Travis for giving it to me, Travis Crampton. And it has definitely come in handy for a few of these races this season, including the opening race of the season at Homestead when we had all those guys get caught in the tail end. We may end up using it here. And it'll be interesting to see if these guys come down here for our mid-race break. Caution out here. Scheduled caution. Matt Tuck going to lead him down the pit lane here for the scheduled stop halfway through this race. Philip Torres, Bernardi Oliveira, Bryce Egan. You got the 0 of Matthew Hubert staying out. He should be able to get waved around as long as he doesn't come down the pit lane. And actually should be the case for everyone who came down under the green flag right there. So their chances are not done yet. This is such a short race and not much time, but this is the money stop right here. And you got to take tires now, I do believe, if you're going to have a good shot at winning this race.
Definitely, we'll have to see what the call is, but fortunately it doesn't really look like it worked out for those guys who came out under the last caution. And it's going to cost them some track position, but we'll see how it all shakes up here. And it looks like everyone will be taking tires.
Only 2 tires.
Cycle. Only 2 tires.
And Philip Torres, did he beat Matt Tuck across the line?
Oh, boy. Oh, and Bernardo de Oliveira had a slow stop. He could have taken 4 tires,
he might have taken 4. We'll just have to see. Don't have time to really review that now. Matt Tuck should actually be the race leader there. And it does appear that we will have these guys wave back around as well. So this could definitely get interesting on the restart. But Matt Tuck will still be the race leader. Let's go ahead and get to the restart here in the Wawa Open from the Indianapolis Raceway Park. And we are back here in the Wawa Open. Going to restart with 11 laps to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. All 24 drivers still on the lead lap. The 4 drivers stayed out, came down under that green flag, and they are going to be sent to the back of the field, but they get their lap back in that process. So Matt Tuck leads the field in the 54. Philip Torres, Jesse Turner, Bryce Egan, Ace Garcia, the top 5. And then you got Joshua Brown in 6. How about this? You got Travis Crampton, Bernardi Oliveira had a bit of a slower stop, may have taken 4 tires and not have a chance to see that. Justin Zeidel and Bruno Diacomo, that is the top 10. Only the winner of this race advances on to the Winners Showdown later tonight, and they will start in the 17th position for the All-Star event. Here we go. Back for the restart. 11 laps to go at IRP for Matt Tuck and Grattan Autosport. And Turner going for second on Philip Torres. He's not wasting any time right there.
Not as good of a jump there for Tuck. However, them going side by side is definitely going to hold him back just a little bit.
He got a good jump after that battle right there, that's for sure. And now the case really is, will Turner have anything for the 54 as this run goes along? Of course, even though it was at the beginning of the season, it was a Trinity River racing car that won the Meliella Smooth Fest. They definitely showed speed there, and Diacomo has shown speed. As a matter of fact, Diacomo finished 3rd at Pocono on Saturday, so there is still some speed in those Trinity River racing cars, even though this is going to be their last season in the Wawa Cup Series. They are essentially making room for Matt Tuck's team at Team Velocity next year, so definitely a mutual thing between those 2 guys. But this battle is going to be between Turner and Matt Tuck. We'll see if De Oliveira, if he did take 4 tires, which is very possible he did here. He does seem to be showing some speed right here in this 57 machine. He could definitely find himself closer up to the front. Ace Garcia gonna scrape the outside wall right there. We saw Dylan Matthews do that last night. It did not end up working out too well for her. And De Oliveira is 2 seconds behind in this 57. It'll be obvious if he's running faster than these guys, but he may not have enough time. This race just may have been a little too short for that strategy to work out, especially considering this guy took 2 tires. They still got some fresher rubber, but I don't know. This 57 looks like he's closing in here on Bryce Egan. This is going to be for 3rd right here. But will he have enough time to close in on Matt Tuck, who's now got a 1.2 second lead on the field? He's led every lap so far. This race has gone exactly to plan for Grattan Autosport and Matt Tuck.
Bernardo de Oliveira looking fast on those 4 fresh tires, but like he said, does he have enough time? I really don't know. If he wants to get up there, he's going to have to make quick work of these cars in front of him, including the 69 of Bryce Egan. He's trying to find a way around it, but Egan holding strong. We know Egan's good at defense. We saw what he was able to do at North Wilkesboro early on in the season. Now trying to defend against the 57 of Bernardo de Oliveira. But Tuck out front, trying to pull away from the 82 of Jesse Turner. But Turner's trying to reel him in, but he's losing time. Tuck's pulling away with the lead, but now just 5 coming to 4 to go.
And of course, these guys in the back who made that stop under the green flag, they are definitely off the pace. They did not take tires, and they're going much slower than our race leaders currently are, so that strategy did not work out for them. But we saw a lot of strategy, and we'll see strategy later on the night in the Winners Showdown with the guys who have already won races this season. So Matt Tuck holding on to a 1.5 second lead, and this is a lot like what Corey Case had last night. A pretty significant lead late in the going, and this is a difficult place to reel somebody in. And it really does appear that De Oliveira just does not have the advantage right now at Bryce Egan. It's just stuck behind the 69, cannot get around him, and he has lost time as well to Matt Tuck in this whole process. And Turner falling back. That car there is just too good for who he's racing with there. None of these teams have gone the victory lane this season outside of the Smooth Fest with Trinity River Racing. Yeah, I mean, you don't have another winning team until you get to Hamill Racing Enterprises with Brady Mardi Gras in 10th, and Mardi Gras clearly has not been up to pace. Brad Stover coming down the pit lane right here, and they may have run out of fuel.
Oh, no.
That's just how close it was for these guys. We'll have a bigger fuel cell in for the Winners Showdown later on tonight. But these guys here have nothing to worry about. They came in past halfway. I say that. Remember when Matt Tuck was leading at Dover and came down, coming to the end of that race. But he does take the white flag here in the Wawa Open, looking to advance on to the Winners Showdown. And very fitting for Matt Tuck to get this position, and he's got a legitimate chance at winning the Winners Showdown as well. He will be starting 17th later on tonight, but it's going to be a 75-lap race, and a lot of crazy things might happen with 2 stage breaks and an incredible tire fall-off. Matt Tuck wins the Wawa Open here at IRP, and the rest doesn't matter. It's a close one there for Turner, but just not close enough, and then Bryce Egan was able to hold on the third. Roberto Crown Jr. had to come down the pit lane at the end of that one. But in the end, Matt Tuck, just like last night, leading every single lap here in this race. I don't think we're going to necessarily see that in the Winners Showdown later on tonight. But we do know that Matt Tuck is going to be in the Wawa Winners Showdown later on this evening.
Definitely an absolute masterclass there.
Yeah, that is exactly how Matt Tuck expected that race to go. And I do believe that is Matt Tuck's first official win of the year on the channel as a driver. He's gotten a lot as an owner over there in the IndyCar series. You know a lot about that, Caleb. But Matt Tuck finally gets one, even though it's the Wawa Open. I think that was an expected win for the driver who sits third in the Wawa Cup Series standings coming into this race. All right, we've got single car qualifying. First time we've done this since the Wawa Winners Showdown last year at the Big Speedway, just a few miles down the road. What do you expect here? With all the ratings in play, who do you think's got the best chance at winning the pole here in just a moment?
Honestly, it could be pretty much of a toss-up. We got a lot of strong teams in the Winners Showdown. It's going to be fascinating to see because, yeah, I really don't know who might have the advantage. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. But Matt Tuck definitely getting some much-needed momentum going into the Winners Showdown and qualifying. Getting the win, leading every single lap here. And while it wasn't an expected win, he definitely still had to fight for it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of this Winners Showdown plays out.
It's going to be very fun. Of course, Matt Tuck will not be qualifying. He will start 17th in the showdown. But the 16 winners of the season will be going out there here in just a moment for single car qualifying to determine the starting lineup for the Wawa Winners Showdown later on tonight. Let's go ahead and get down to it. Matt Tuck is in through the Winners Showdown. Everybody else gets to go home and prepare for the Brickyard 400 this Saturday. Let's go ahead and see how it all goes down for the rest of the night here at IRP. And here we are. The drivers are going to go out for single car qualifying. And this is the first time we've really done this on a track this short before on the channel. Of course, single car qualifying is always a lot of fun. And hey, this is a very difficult place to make passes. So starting up front, starting further up in this race is very important. And it's 75 laps, 2 cycles of pit stops that'll go through at least at some point in the race later on tonight. And it's going to be fascinating to see how it all goes down. So Caleb, you got 3 cars. 3 cars, and the first one going to go out here, Alexander Rowe, in the running for this one. Where do you want to start here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, knowing the tire fall-off, knowing the strategy that could take place? What's the best place to start here for this Winners Showdown tonight?
Well, I think, like you mentioned, this is out of a harder track to pass, and I think we're going to see a lot of our contenders start towards the front like we saw in the Sprint Series race and in the Open. So I think you want to start towards the front. Qualifying is really going to matter here, and especially it could even make or break your race in some cases, so we'll have to see what will go down here tonight. But yeah, I do think qualifying here tonight is going to be very, very important, and we're going to see a lot of these guys giving it all they got to push for the pole here tonight.
It'll definitely be a fascinating session here. Every driver gets one lap, so their one lap that they put down, that is the lap that counts. And you'll see the ticker on the left-hand side of your screen showing the times for all the drivers and where they currently run in relation to everybody else. So let's go down to it. Alexander Rowe is going to be the first driver out there. You're going to see the qualifying. You already saw the qualifying order on your screen right there. They are in the order, reverse order of their points positions in the Wawa Cup Series currently. And of course, Matt Tuck is already going to be starting in the 17th position due to the fact that he did not, in fact, win a race yet this year. So he is automatically going to start 17th from winning the Open later on the night. But he will be in the show along with these 16 drivers. They're going to start right now with Alexander Rowe in the number 50 for Appalachian Motorsports. All right, so Alexander Rowe here on the pit stall. And, of course, this is your hot seat car, the only hot seat car that's going to be in this race tonight. And what are your expectations, Alexander Rowe? We got that win back in March at the Phoenix Raceway and has not been in a hot seat ride since that race. So how do you think he's going to do in the Cup car?
Going to be fascinating to see. We know Alexander Rowe, a well-established channel veteran, finally returning to pilot duties in a Cup Series ride. Got the win, like you mentioned earlier in the season at Phoenix, and another shorter and relatively flatter racetrack. This could potentially suit his wheelhouse. Have to see how he does here on his flying lap.
Here we go. Across the line, he is going to go to about 129. Of course, a lot different the way we qualify here than they do at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway down the street. And to minimize around 91 miles per hour there through turns 1 and 2, down the backstretch, topping off around 130. And then through the corner, 90 miles per hour there as a minimum speed. Across the line is going to be the benchmark here at a 23.311. So you'll see that on the left-hand side of your screen. Let's go on to our next driver, Chase Buck in the 32. Got our next driver in line. It is Pacific Racing driver Chase Buck, who is also going to be retiring at the end of this year along with Matt Tuck. And there were rumors that Chase Buck was going to drive for Matt Tuck at Velocity Racing, but that did not come to fruition. And Daniel Paulus Jr. ended up with that ride, which we'll see Daniel later on in the session. Of course, Chase Buck got the win at Montreal after a season that has definitely not been like it was last year. Won 3 times last year on the short tracks and road courses of Bristol. He got the win at North Wilkesboro and led pretty much every single lap in those races. And then got the win at Watkins Glen. So this track suits his style, especially considering that win at North Wilkesboro a year ago. Let's see what he can do right here. Benchmark set by Alexander Rowe was a 23.311 across the line. For Chase Buck, he's going to be about 127. We'll see what his minimum speed is through the corner right here. Oh, much faster than Alexander Rowe right there. 93 as a minimum speed.
Trending up so far here for the 32 of Chase Buck. Like you said, this is a track that definitely suits his style. We'll have to see as he comes down the front straight away. Here we go. Cross the line.
23.026. Top of the board for Chase Buck. Here, 2 cars in. 14 more to go for Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying.
Avery Alford.
Our next driver, Avery Alford, winner of the opener at the Homestead Miami Speedway. So he won the first Wawa-sponsored race. Who knows, maybe he'll win the second one. And Alford has actually shown a decent amount of speed as of late, at least in terms of the chase so far. He has outperformed the driver on that team of Trey Barto, who is in the chase. So, going to be interesting to see where Alford ends up next year. Of course, by the time you guys are seeing this, that announcement may have already been made. We'll just have to see where he does end up, but definitely trying to improve his stock for next year. And we'll have to see how well he does here for Hairgel Motorsports in this one. A great opportunity for him with a smaller field to show his stuff and maybe get that $40 grand prize.
We'll have to see. Definitely looking forward to see what Avery Alford can do here in the Winners Showdown. Alford's kind of quietly proven that they might be a force to be reckoned with here on the channel so far this season. Like you mentioned, got the win earlier on the season here in the Cup Series at Homestead, and also got himself a win in the IndyCar Series earlier in the season at Circuit of the Americas. Alford definitely a very strong driver here on the channel, and been, like you said, been on a hot streak as of late. Have to see if he can continue that momentum here today.
And of course, he won the Sprint Series Championship last year. Kind of a thrilling title battle that was in the Sprint Series a year ago. We'll have to see if that ends up happening again. Getting tight over there in the Sprint Series after last night's race. Here we go, Avery Alford in the 52 machine, trying to beat a 23.026 set by Chase Buck across the line. It's kind of hard to tell what the speed they are there going across the line. Avery Alford minimizing at 95 there through the corner, so he did peek back down there. Kind of two spots where they go down. They accelerate midway through and then they slow it back down. You got that first part and then you got that second part right there. Minimum of 92. I think this is going to be comparable to Chase Buck across the line for Avery Alford, 22.999. Hey. That is quickest so far here in Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying. Good for Avery Alford right there in Hairgel Motorsports. Next up, it is our Daytona 500 champion of LJ Semedo. That is his only career win on the channel, by the way. And we can't confirm that he is going to be returning to Titan Fury. I mean, heck, everyone thought Drew Webb was going to come back to Titan Fury next year. But then again, I feel like LJ Semedo is going to commit a little bit more to this team based on what this team has done for him. Of course, Drew Webb was offered the opportunity, couldn't pass it up. LJ, on the other hand, unfortunately has not had the success of Drew Webb, so we'll see where he ends up. He's got an opportunity right here at proving everyone wrong. A little bit slower there through the corner than Avery Alford was. See right here. Gonna minimize 90 miles per hour right there. It's just gonna be a bit on the slower end, unfortunately, for LJ Semedo across the line. 23.288. That is third quickest so far. Of course, then again, 75 laps. A lot of opportunities for LJ Semedo to better that starting position in the Winners Showdown later on tonight. And here's our fifth driver in line, the winner from Bristol. I'm sure you remember that race, Caleb. Angel Gutierrez right here, who benefited off of Nicolas Samudio blowing his engine coming to the white flag in that race. And here he is, and the good thing is Nicolas Samudio is also in this race. Of course, won at the most comparable track at North Wilkesboro. They're running that same tire tomorrow, to later on tonight in the race, so we'll have to see how that works for him. But we'll have to see how it works for Angel Gutierrez, who had a great start to his season, but then kind of fell off as the season went along. Missed the chase, unfortunately, and this is one of his better opportunities to really show his stuff again. Of course, he is returning to Millennium Motorsports next year, so Chase Harris saw enough potential for him to return, which is great to see. Not many drivers return to their teams going in the next year. Of course, both of your guys are definitely returning. They're at Appalachian Motorsports, but we'll see what Angel Gutierrez can do here in this session. Just waiting for him to peek back out right there. A 22.999 is the time that he is looking to beat. Now set by Avery Alford. Of course, we got a lot of fast drivers coming up here in this session who could very well defeat that time. Here we go. Angel Gutierrez coming out. Let's see what he does on his fast lap here.
We'll have to see. We know Gutierrez is definitely a very strong driver, especially over in the IndyCar scene, as we have seen in the past few years. Of course, the 2023 Indianapolis 250 champion, now driving full-time for the 49 of Trackhouse, and got himself a win at Iowa earlier on in the season. And over here, got the win at Bristol, although I'd kind of like to forget that race ever happened. But it is still a race nonetheless on the schedule, or on the counter in the records. And was still won by the 36 of Angel Gutierrez, so a very strong driver. Have to see how this lap turns out for him.
He was a bit slow right there through turns one. He almost hit 89, boy. So Alford's time looks like it's still safe. Gutierrez across the line, 23.283. just a notch above LJ Semedo for third currently on the leaderboard. And here we go. The second driver for Appalachian Motorsports tonight, Logan Williams. Of course, got the win at Gateway earlier this season, but once again, another season quite like last year where he just could not get off to the right foot, and he's been showing a bit more strength as of late. Not necessarily the way you would have hoped it to go for Logan Williams, but bringing him back next year, what do you expect out of him next year in 2025?
I'm really happy to have Logan Williams back. I know that probably surprised a few people, but you know what? I've got faith in my man Logan. I know that he is a very strong driver. He's shown it in other series, and he's shown it in this series as well. He's got, I think 3 wins now to his name in the Wawa Cup Series scene. He won at Nashville and Darlington last season and got the win this season at Gateway. He knows how to get it done. I think at this point, all he needs to work on is getting a better start to the season. That's kind of been the case for him both last season and this season. Season gets off to a rocky start and starts picking it up towards about mid-season, but at that point, it's just a little bit too late. And unfortunately, just about barely missed this chase both seasons. But still, I've got trust in my man Logan. I have to see what he does here tonight. Really looking forward to have this partnership continue in 2025.
Of course, he is the winningest driver on your team, so there's definitely something to be said about that. Maybe he'll get the win later on tonight, and who knows, this is definitely the kind of race that Logan could win there for the Appalachian Motorsports camp. Here we go across the line for Logan Williams in his fast lap. A lot of speed going into the corner, definitely have to hold it in through the middle of the corner. And minimizing, he just barely tapped 93 right there, but a pretty solid time, and a lot of it is determined here in turns 3 and 4, and that momentum you can carry off the exit of 3 and 4. Gonna minimize at 91. This is gonna be a bit closer. Feel like it might be in between Alford and Buck and across the line. It in fact is a 23.015, so Alford still the quickest here, but Logan Williams now on the outside pole currently in that 95 machine. And we have now entered the drivers who are currently in the Wawa Cup Series chase. Our next one in line is Trey Barto, who has not gotten off to a good start in the chase at all. Currently sitting, let's see here, we've got ourselves 70 points behind our points leader of Rogal Dorn, so not doing too good right now, but so long ways left to go. Got the win at Rockingham earlier this season, of course, and has definitely been the top driver there at Haersville Motorsports. Will be returning next year with a sponsor not to be named at the moment, and we'll have to see what he can do here in the Winners Showdown. Of course, Avery Alford, his teammate, currently holds the fastest time, 22.999. Only driver to go under 23 seconds. We'll see if Barto can do so with his fast lap here in just a moment.
Nice to see Barto back here in the Wawa Cup Series, and it's been kind of an up-and-down season for him. Like you mentioned, got the win earlier in the season at Rockingham. Made the chase there for Haersville Motorsports. Definitely a better season all around for that team. Fortunately, it's been a rocky start to the chase, like you said, for Barto. However, we'll have to see if he can maybe turn his momentum around here in the Winners Showdown. Definitely has a good shot here at getting the win. We'll have to see how this goes.
And he's getting out there for his fast lap. Like I said, 22.999, the time to be beat. Whereas you probably want to set something a little bit better than that, considering the drivers we've got coming up in the list. Drew Webb, Paulus Jr, Loudovick Charette, Kearston Bell, Nicolas Samudio, Blaine Keyes, Jack Haas, Thomas Troxell, and Rogal Dorn. You know all those guys are fast. All these guys have won races this year in the Wawa Cup Series. Into the corner, Trey Barto trying to carry as much speed as he can, and a little bit slower there. Let's see what momentum he can carry through turns 3 and 4. That is definitely one of the spots that determines your lap. And right here, minimizing at 92, he might be a little bit close to the top here. We'll see. 23.133, not quite fast enough right there. Third quickest there for Trey Barto and Haersville Motors. Actually, sorry, fourth quickest for Haersville Motorsports and their other drivers. He'll hold the fastest time, though, with Avery Alford. Let's get on to our next driver here at IRP. And here he is, our defending champion here in the Wawa Cup Series, and the driver who made waves a couple weeks ago when he made the announcement to Grattan Autosport for 2025. and then proceeded to have a fuel leak or an oil leak actually, I should say, at the Pocono Raceway, which sent him to the back of the field. He is 11th in points right now in the Wawa Cup Series chase. Not exactly where we expected our defending champion of Drew Webb, but here's where he can make it all up. And this is definitely a race that he can win. Here we go for Drew Webb and his fast lap. Let's see what he minimizes at through the corner. Of course, the weather conditions are identical for all these guys, and very quick there through turns 1 and 2.
Good 1 and 2.
Yeah. You kind of felt like this is like this is really the first driver who we know is good and know can win the championship this year, and I feel like this time's going to go to the top of the board. Across the line, 20. Oh, no, not quite. Not quite. He goes third. 23.033 for Drew Webb. Maybe not enough speed down the straightaways for him. Was very quick through the corners, but couldn't hold the momentum down the straightaways. Let's see how Daniel Paulus Jr. does as he's the next driver. And next in line, Daniel Paulus Jr. getting right out there for Trackhouse Racing. Of course, another driver making a big move next year, driving for Team Velocitar. And I got to give Matt Tuck a lot of credit for putting his trust in Daniel. This is a guy who love having him in the booth for the Sprint Series races, albeit he's only been in one race this year over there. But definitely a driver who has shown a lot more potential this season, and he's continuing to climb the ladder of the Wawa Cup Series, joining a strong team there, an offshoot of Grattan Autosport. Here we go for his time, trying to beat Avery Alford's time right here, and that's pretty quick there through turns 1 and 2. I know Reggie would love to get Daniel in this Winners Showdown further up through the field than some of these other drivers. Oh, not a good entry, though, through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be middle of the road, I feel like, for Daniel Paulus Jr. 20. Oh, no, it isn't.
Oh!
He just took the top position away. 22.927 for Daniel Paulus Jr. Maybe the trick is to slow it down in 3 and 4 and get the jump off.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you got to go slower. Let's go on to our next driver here at IRP. And here we go for our next driver in line, Loudovick Charette. Of course, she got the win at Kansas earlier this season. But what a start to the chase for her. She had a good run going in the Pocono and then blew up on lap 8 of the race while in the second position. It was a Grattan Autosport 1-2 at the time, and then Loudovick blew up. Matt Tuck would, of course, finish the race, and he'll be in the Winners Showdown later on, starting 17th. But just so much bad luck on that organization this season. We'll see if they can turn it around here for the Winners Showdown and then going into the Brickyard 400 on Saturday.
We'll have to see. Of course, Loudovick returning to Grattan Autosport next season in 2025. And now going to be alongside Drew Webb. That is going to be a Titanic lineup there for Grattan Autosport. But yeah, Charette has had a good season, but kind of just like the start of the chase for the 51. It's just been kind of plagued by spots of bad luck for Charette. Have to see, though, if she can turn it around, and what a better... Not much of a better place to turn it around than here in the Winners Showdown. Let's see what she can do here.
And I think the drive into the corner and the drive off means a lot more than the minimum speed through the corner. Obviously, that means a lot more at a higher speed track like Indianapolis. But the amount of speed that you carry down the straightaways and going into the corner really means a lot. So we'll have to see what Loudovick can do. Of course, 93 is a minimum there, so a lot faster as we would expect. We'll see if this can match Paulus's time. 23.001, not quite. So Paulus had the right idea right there by slowing it down in the corners just enough to get the drive off. Loudovick is third quickest with her lap right there. Here's our 11th driver of the night here in Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying. Kearston Bell, two-time winner of the season at Las Vegas and Dover, which, if you ask Matt Tuck, he doesn't think that win should have gone to her after everything that happened there. But regardless of the fact, here she is in the Winners Showdown for Evans Ross Racing. Definitely one of the stronger teams of the year. And we also got Jack Haas coming up as well in this lineup. But Kearston has been one of those drivers. She actually made it into the wild card, who has shown flashes of speed and brilliance, but has not necessarily been consistent throughout the year. So that has definitely plagued her a little bit. She comes into the Brickyard 400 on Saturday, 7th in the point standings. So we'll have to see if she can rebound, have a shot at the Brickyard 400 race. It's going to be a huge race on Saturday. We're very much excited for it, and excited for the real-life one to return as well. Love the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I love being there for the Indy 500, and the Indy 250, of course, was great. And now the Cup guy is going to take their shot at the big speedway in just a few days. What we got tonight here, just up the street at IRP, and Kearston Bell about to go out for her lap.
I got a lot of fun races coming up on the channel. And yeah, you're really excited to see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in action both here and IRL. I'm excited to see how the next-gen cars will perform at Indianapolis, but Kearston Bell has shown lots of flashes of potential and a lot of speed in that 93, but just needs to work on consistency just a little bit. But still, been a great season so far for that rookie driver. She has been absolutely on fire in those races where she has been quick. See what she can do here tonight in qualifying.
And we'll have to see how it ends up working out. Really haven't been paying too much attention to the speed going in. Maximized at about 130 so. And minimizing through 92. See what the minimum speed is going, or maximum speed going down is about 131. That might be what you really want to see in terms of how well you get around here. Oh, 89. That's the first time we've seen 89 tonight, but maybe she's going to try the same thing Daniel did earlier. 23.190, so maybe, but maybe just a little too slow for right there. She's down in 8th in terms of the qualifying order with that 23.190. And here's our next driver in line, and the driver who won at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, which kind of inspired what we're going to be doing later on tonight with the tire fall off. And obviously that race was probably one of your favorites, Caleb, with your driver finally getting his first ever Wawa Cup Series race victory. Nicolas Samudio, Mr. Edge himself, and of course one of the best drivers ever to grace the channel. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying.
Here's the IRP Speedway. Definitely, with all the things happening, it will definitely suit his wheelhouse, like you said. With all the tire fall off going down, just like we saw at North Wilkesboro. And IRP being pretty similar in shape and complexion to North Wilkesboro. Have to see what he can do, but North Wilkesboro, even that aside, it was a very, very fun race. And very happy to see Nicolas Samudio finally break through and get his well-deserved first career Wawa Cup Series win. I have to see what he can do here in Winners Showdown qualifying. We know Samudio is definitely a guy who can get it done. Let's see what he does here in his lap.
And of course, the driver going for that championship as well in the Wawa Cup Series. 6th in points going into the Brickyard 400 this weekend. Ooh, pretty quick there going into the corner, 135. We'll have to see what kind of speed he gets off the corner. Not too bad through the middle of the corner right there. Just a matter of getting that drive off going in. We'll have to see what Samudio can do in comparison. Of course, 22.927, the time to beat, set by Daniel Paulus Jr. Nicolas Samudio, that looked like a pretty quick lap to me, and it was decently quick. That's going to be good for 5th. 23.023, just a notch below his teammate there of Logan Williams. And here he is, winner of 4 races this season in the Wawa Cup Series, including our last one at the Pocono Raceway. It's Blaine Keyes, who is on the verge of winning his 20th career race on the channel. And excited to see what he can do here in the Winners Showdown and possibly join the 20 Winners Club, which is great for a guy who was in the first ever race on the channel all the way back in the day. And I'm intrigued to see what he does on this lap, because this team, they definitely have a lot of speed for their driver, Blaine Keyes. We're going to have to see if he can finesse his way around here and beat that 22.927 set by Daniel Paulus Jr.
Hey, if there's anybody that could do it, it's Blaine Keyes in that 41. He's had a great season and a great turnaround in the chase, too, after having a bit of a rough run at Chicagoland. But here goes Keyes. 135 into turn number 1. Looking pretty good so far. Minimizes at 93. This could be a cooker for a lap here.
Whoa, 133 into the corner. That was pretty quick right there. That's what you got to do. And he gets a little bit slower, but he definitely had that speed going in, and that might be enough to knock Paulus off. It is 22.922. Blaine Keyes goes to the top of the board here in Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying. How about that? Will he get another win here in 2024? And here we go for Jack Haas, and While we're recording this, news was just broken that Racing Motorsports has signed Avery Alford for next year to replace Blaine Keyes in that 41. And, hey, congratulations to Avery on that move to that team. That should definitely be a great fit for Avery in 2025. But Jack Haas, he's sticking with Evans Ross Racing for 2025, and it has definitely been a good combination. Jack Haas, it's fourth in the point standings coming in to the Brickyard 400 this weekend. And this is definitely a driver who can have a very good opportunity of winning this race if he can get a good starting position. Blaine Keyes showed a lot of speed right there at 22.922. That's what Jack Haas has to beat right here. We'll have to see what he can do on his fast lap.
We'll have to see what Haas does. Another rookie for the 2024 Wawa Cup Series season. It was an all-rookie lineup for Evans Ross Racing going into this season, and boy, both of her drivers have performed tremendously. Both Bell and Jack Haas have had great seasons. They're both in the chase, both fighting for a championship, and Jack Haas, especially as of late, has really turned it up to 100, and he has been having some spectacular runs as of late. We'll see if the momentum that he has gained throughout this season progresses here in the Winners Showdown.
It's going to be a fascinating one for Jack here in this session. We'll see if he can pull that same strategy that Blaine did, kind of get that speed going down the straightaways and carry that momentum through the corner. Going in pretty quick into the corner right there, about a 135 for Jack Haas into the corner. Going to minimize at 93. We'll have to see if he can hold that speed going down the straightaway. And he's going to hit, just barely tapped 131 right there. So maybe not quite as fast as Blaine, but definitely a lot faster through the center of the corner. We'll have to see if that carries over. Jack Haas goes 22.944.
Oh.
And that's good enough for third. So we'll have to see if he does, in fact, start in the third position, but a solid lap time out of Jack Haas and Evans Ross Racing. And here is the other Pacific Racing driver. We've got ourselves Thomas Troxell. Got the win a couple weeks ago at the Chicagoland Speedway, a two-time winner this year at Talladega and Chicagoland. And he currently sits second in the points behind Rogal Dorn, who is the next driver and the final driver out here in the Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying session. And we're just going to have to see Blaine Keyes still holding on to that fastest time, 22.922 for him. We'll see if Troxell can beat it, and Troxell's the kind of guy who can beat it. Of course, very strong on the short tracks last year. Got the wins at Martinsville and Richmond a year ago. We'll have to see. Of course, Jack Haas got the win at the Martinsville Speedway this year. Blaine Keyes got the win at New Hampshire, which, not quite like this track, but, there are some similarities. So not a surprise to see these guys who have had some strength on the short tracks run well in this session. Of course, we still got a race to run, and we're going to have stage breaks at lap 30, lap 60, and they will both be for fuel and tires. So it's going to be very fascinating once we get down to the race. And we're going to have to see what Thomas Troxell could do right here, trying to get to Blaine Keyes here for that fastest time.
Troxell is definitely somebody who could challenge Blaine Keyes for that top spot. Of course, both those guys going to be teammates next season at Pacific Racing. Another very, very strong lineup for 2025. Have to see what they both do for Pacific Racing. Of course, Troxell already a well-established driver for Pacific Racing and Brennan Wilmington. But have to see how he does head-to-head in the same car with Keyes. But yeah, Troxell has had a very, very consistent season up to this point. And looking to potentially get himself a Winners Showdown win here tonight. I know Pacific Racing has been pretty good here on these short tracks, but to be fair, honestly, they've been really good just about everywhere here this season. So we'll have to see how Troxell does here tonight.
Yeah, 3 wins on the year for the team. Of course, they got the win in Montreal with Chase Buck as well, and pretty solid speed there for Troxell going into the corner. And carrying that speed through the corner as well. We'll have to see what he maxes out down the backstretch at 133. This could be close to Blaine's time. This could be close. We'll have to see what kind of speed he gets off the exit right here. He minimized it 91, but that's exactly what Blaine did earlier. And 22.929. Just a notch below Daniel Paulus Jr. for the third position. So it's either going to be Blaine Keyes or Rogal Dorn on the pole. Let's see who gets it done here for the pole position in the Wawa Winners Showdown. All right, down to our last driver in qualifying, and then it's on to the race here in just a few minutes. Rogal Dorn, 3-time winner of the season at Circuit of the Americas. Won the Coke 600 in dominating fashion, and then also dominated at Nashville a couple of weeks ago to get the win in the opening chase race, and he currently sits atop the point standings there for Hamill Racing Enterprises. Definitely been a huge difference between Rogal Dorn and Brady Mardigraw at that team, but Jesse Turner going to be joining Rogal Dorn next year, and that might be a solid combination. Jesse has not had a good run this year with the Trinity River Racing team, so we'll have to see what he can do next year with Hamill's team. Of course, Derek Hamill, the all-time winningest owner on the channel, and he keeps racking them up, especially with a driver like Rogal Dorn behind the wheel. Let's see what the Schluter System 74 can do here. 22.922, the time he has to beat ahead of Blaine Keyes. And if you're Daniel Paulus Jr., where do you want to be? Do you want to start third, or do you want to get that outside pole? Because based on what we saw in the Open, that outside lane was not where you wanted to be.
Yeah, we saw Braden Perez really drop off there early, starting on the outside pole. So if I'm Daniel Paulus Jr., I'm probably really wanting Rogal Dorn to set a quicker time. Maybe set either pole or second place. It's not to be an interesting fight for the pole, though. Both Rogal Dorn and Blaine Keyes have been especially strong so far this season, and Rogal Dorn especially has lit up the charts here in the chase so far this season. Currently leading the standings as we go into the Winners Showdown. Have to see what he does here in qualifying in that Schluter System Chevrolet.
He's got to get out there first, of course, to complete his lap, and they're waiting as long as they can for us here. There we go.
Here we go.
What will Rogal do? Will he be atop the standings here in qualifying, or will he be further back? And I don't know if this field wants Blaine Keyes to start up front based on what we have seen out of recent weeks. But then again, they don't want Rogal Dorn to start up front either, so which one do you choose? Here we go for Rogal Dorn in the 74. And across the line, we didn't quite have the speed of some of these other guys going in the turn number 1, minimizing there about 93 through the corner. This right here is a big determination. How fast can you get down the backstretch? Ooh, only 131, and he barely hit it right there. I don't think this is going to be enough for Rogal Dorn. And I think it's safe to say that Blaine Keyes is probably going to get the pole for the Winners Showdown. Rogal Dorn going to be down 23.070. That's all the way down in 11th for Rogal Dorn right there. So Blaine Keyes has won the pole for the Wawa Winners Showdown. And we'll quickly recap qualifying, then get to the race here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. All right, and there are the results for the Wawa Winners Showdown qualifying session. This is how they will line up: Blaine Keyes and Daniel Paulus Jr. on the front row. Then it's Thomas Troxell and Jack Haas making up row number 2. Avery Alford, Loudovick Charette in row number 3. Logan Williams, Nicolas Samudio in row number 4. Chase Buck, Drew Webb in row 5. Rogal Dorn, Trey Barto in row 6. Kearston Bell, Angel Gutierrez in row 7. LJ Semedo and Alex in row 8. And then Matt Tuck won the Wawa Open, was ineligible to qualify. He will start in the 17th position back in there. And Caleb, I don't think we'll have you in the booth for the race here in a moment, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you now, who do you think is going to win this Wawa Winners Showdown? 75 laps, 30-lap run, another 30-lap run, 15-lap run. We got the pit stops, the tire wear, and all that. Who do you think's got the best shot at getting it done here tonight for this Wawa Winners Showdown?
Well, honestly, I think I would have to be watching out for the 41 of Blaine Keyes. We know that he knows how to get it done here this season. We know how quick he's been, especially when starting from the pole position. But, it's going to be a long race. 75 laps, still a lot of time for stuff to happen. But, yeah, I would be watching out for that 41 of Blaine Keyes.
We're just going to have to see how it all goes down here tonight. Let's get to it. Let's get the cars on the grid and get the Wawa Winners Showdown started here from the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Well, after all the festivities of the evening, the Wawa Open won by Matt Tuck, the pole won by Blaine Keyes. We are finally ready for the main event of the night, the Wawa Winners Showdown here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's 75 laps around the 0.686 mile speedway, and it's going to be a very interesting race because we got not one, but 2 stage breaks here tonight. and a tire that's going to fall off almost 3.5 seconds. It's the Wawa Winners Showdown here for 2024 here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park in the 2024 Wawa Cup Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here once again. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, and the reason why I open like that is because it's 2 days later when I'm recording this race, even though you guys just saw qualifying a moment ago with Blaine Keyes winning the pole for this Wawa Winners Showdown. We pushed Caleb out of the booth so he can watch his team in this race. He's got 3 cars in this race. The gentleman alongside me, unfortunately, has none of them. Nathan Stapleton joining alongside me for this one. And Nathan, all of these guys, except for Matt Tuck, who won the Open earlier tonight, have gone to victory lane this season in the Wawa Cup Series. That's the best of the rest. And heck, Matt Tuck almost won last time out at Pocono. So how do you think it's going to play out with the best drivers in the series going after it here for 75 laps at IRP?
Well, what you said is going to be very interesting on how things play out. I've never seen Cup cars at IRP before. I've used GNS visits here before, but not with the Cup visits, so I'm very intrigued on what you have done to the track here. And from what he told me, it's going to be a lot of fall off, and that's going to play into these drivers' hands. And you really have to manage the stuff until we get to those stage cautions. But after that second one, you can just go for broke with it being a sprint to the finish. But like you said, we got seeing up the best plus Matt title, almost won at Pocono. So we literally have the best drivers in the Wawa Cup Series here for some money on the line and some short track racing. It's going to be a fun night here tonight.
It absolutely is, and we're excited to see who gets it done here for the $40 grand prize. And of course, the owner winner also gets a cash prize as well. So a little bit at stake for that's it. There's no reserve anymore or anything like that, because pretty much every single one of these drivers has a team for 2025 already. So we'll have to see how that ends up shaking up for the couple who are not in a ride next year. But these are some of the best drivers, and that was showcased in qualifying when Blaine Keyes, a 4-time winner this season, got the win last time out at Pocono, went to victory lane in that race, and he got the pole just a moment ago. But how about the surprise outside pole sitter, Daniel Paulus Jr. with a really quick time in qualifying. He's going to have a good shot at this one. You got Thomas Troxell and Jack Haas there in row number 2. Avery Alford starting in the 5th position alongside Loudovick Charette. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they all end up shaking out, but I'm excited to see how this one goes. And the big factor in this race compared to the other races is we have the stage breaks, one in lap 30 and then one in lap 60, and we have a very high tire degradation here on this racetrack, very similar to the tire that we brought to North Wilkesboro. So with that in mind, Nathan, what's the correct strategy to win this race here tonight at the Indianapolis Raceway Park?
Well, I think what you might end up having to do, if these stage cautions go all the way to lap 30 and lap 60 without any cautions, you need to save those stuff. You need to save that tire, especially on the long one. About 28 laps in, you want to have the better car and you want to have the better tires, and then that way you can maybe gain a couple positions late before the stage break, and then do it again before lap 60. Especially for lap 60, because after that, and after these guys come down the pit road for the second and final time, it's going to be maybe 10 to 12 laps to go. It's going to be a sprint, and I think whoever wins here tonight will manage this stuff the longest, and will be able to set themselves up right for that final sprint at the end. But it's going to be a fun one with all the tire.
And it definitely will be interesting with that tire wear here tonight. All right, let's get down to it. Give you guys the starting lineup for tonight's Wawa Winners Showdown. Starting 17th in the number 54 for Grattan Autosport, the Wawa Open winner of Matt Tuck. Starting in the 16th position, the winner of the Castrol 500K at Phoenix, Alexander Rowe, driving for Appalachian Motorsports. Starting 15th, you have the number 71, the Daytona 500 champion of LJ Semedo, driving for Titan Fury Racing. Starting 14th, the winner of the Krispy Kreme 500 at Bristol, and driving for Millennium Motorsports, Angel Gutierrez. Starting in the 13th position, the winner of the Braille Battery 400 and the Nemours Children's Health 400 at Dover, Driving for Evans Ross Racing, Kearston Bell. Starting in the 12th position, I should say, in the number 4, as always, winner of the Cheerwine 400 at Rockingham, Trey Barto. Starting 11th, 3-time winner this season, Rogal Dorn for Hamill Racing Enterprises. Winner of the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix, the Coca-Cola 600, and the Cracker Barrel 400. And the latter two of those races in dominating fashion. Nonetheless, starting in the 10th position, the defending Wawa Cup Series champion and the winner of the Iowa Corn 350, Drew Webb. Starting 8th, short track master from last year, the winner of the Tim Hortons Canadian Grand Prix from Montreal, Chase Buck for Pacific Racing. Starting in the 8th position, Chase Buck starting 9th, not 8th. Starting in the 8th position, it is Mr. Edge himself, winner of the Brant 400 at North Wilkesboro, the most comparable track to what we got here tonight. Nicolas Samudio driving for Appalachia Motorsports. Starting 7th in number 95 for Appalachia Motorsports, that's Logan Williams, who got the win in the AAA Missouri 300 at Gateway. Starting 6th in the number 51 for Grattan Autosport, winner of the Great Wolf Lodge 400 at Kansas, Loudovick Charette. Starting 5th in the number 52 for Harrisville Motorsports, it's Avery Alford, winner of the Wawa 400, the opening race of the season. Starting 4th, winner at Martinsville in the STP Old Dominion 500, it's Jack Haas for Evans Ross Racing, driving the number 39. Starting in the 3rd position, it's the winner of the Mountain Dew 500 and the Sirius XM 400 at Chicagoland, the number 62 of Thomas Troxell, driving there for Pacific Racing. Outside pole is Daniel Paulus Jr. for Team Trackhouse, or Trackhouse Racing, as I should say, driving the number 24, winner of the Truist 400 at Atlanta. And then starting on the pole, the winningest driver of the season so far, driving for Racing Motorsports in the number 41, it's Blaine Keyes, winner of the Interstate Batteries 400 of Texas, the Napa 400 at Auto Club, the Raised Dyes and Tubing 300 at New Hampshire, and most recently the Hers Forever Good 400 at Pocono. And who knows, he may get it done here tonight. Very good opportunity to do so starting from the pole position, but of course, with that heavy tire wear, with the pit strategy that will come into play, anyone can win this race here tonight, and that's going to be fascinating to see who gets it done here in the Wawa Winners Showdown. And that is your starting lineup for tonight's Wawa Winners Showdown. Of course, as I mentioned, the winner getting $40, the owner getting $15. No points on the line, and with all that in mind, Nathan, who do you think's going to get the race victory here tonight at Indianapolis Raceway Park?
Well, I know we have a very good twins when it comes to picking race winners, and if there's anyone that wants me to get the white prediction right here tonight, it would be Tom Troxell. I think he's going to be a very good driver here. That team is good at short tracks. Troxell, the regular season champion. And I have to see if we can do here tonight at ILP.
And of course, we have the stage break at lap 30, lap 60, and then fight to the finish on the lap 75. It's going to be a very fascinating race here tonight. The tire wear is going to be significant. Who knows how it's all going to go down. We do know it's going to be a fun one, though. And we know that Blaine Keyes is going to lead us off. Here we go. We're Green Flag Racing in the Wawa Winners Showdown from Indianapolis Raceway Park. And lap number 1 will be led by Blaine Keyes in the number 41 machine. Of course, the amount of laps led does not matter. The only lap that matters is the last one. But Daniel Paulus Jr. from the outside pole avoided what happened to the Sprint Series guys last night. The guys in the open earlier, that outside lane, not the place to be. He saw an opening right there with Troxell lagging back, and he is right there behind Blaine Keyes for the race lead. It's Troxell, Jack Haas, and Avery Alford, the top 5. Loudovick Charette slipping back in the 51 machine. Trey Barto also stuck in the outside lane. Otherwise, everybody in a single file line. It is going to be difficult to pass here tonight. Pit stops are going to affect how these guys run. And the restarts are also going to be critical as well. But how about all 4 of these guys right on each other here on lap number 3?
Well, you mentioned it being hard to pass, but we got the top 4 all within half a second of each other right now. Very tight racing here at the moment. If anyone can get to the inside, they might be able to get a pass made, but this could be a very crucial night for the pit crews and for these drivers on the 2 restarts. after lap 30 and after lap 60 to get the race win possibly. Thomas Troxell closing into Paulus Jr. He's trying to pull away a little bit, but bad middle of 1 and 2 right there for Troxell. And he's going to be under the fire of Jack Haas in the number 39 for that third position.
Of course, this is such a narrow gauge racetrack, pretty much a one-lane groove through the corners, and because of that, these guys have a lot of difficulty trying to make passes work in their favor. You got Jack Haas here. Seems like these guys are maybe held up just a little bit here for the race lead. All four of them right on each other. Then you got a gap right there to Avery Alford, Chase Buck, Logan Williams, Rogal Dorn, Kearston Bell, Drew Webb, the top 10 right now. Matt Tuck started last in this race, and he's all the way up to the 11th position. Then you got Alexander Rowe, the Sprint Series driver, in 12th. Loudovick Charette, Nicolas Samudio, Angel Gutierrez, Trey Barto, and then LJ Semedo in the back of the field. Everyone's still single file, except for Logan Williams making a move here on Chase Buck. Let's see what Logan Williams can do here tonight. He got the win at Gateway earlier this season, and this place has some similarities to Gateway, although it is still a different racetrack. His teammate won North Wilkesboro, Nicolas Samudio did, and we got some movement going on back here. Rogal Dorn to the inside of Chase Buck as well. And Drew Webb had a shot there on Kearston Bell, but couldn't hold the inside lane. And how about Rogal Dorn? Points leader in the Wawa Cup Series going into this event. 3 races through the chase as Jack Haas has gotten around Thomas Troxell for the 3rd position. So we definitely got some movement going on here. It's Drew Webb looking to take 2 spots away as he gets around Kearston and Matt Tuck. And we'll have to see. We're going to have a cycle of pit stops in this race, probably around the first stop, but the second stop, they may stay out considering how short that last segment's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how that ends up shaking out. Jack Haas looking to take 2nd here from Daniel Paulus Jr. As we're 3rd of the way through the first stage here in the Wawa Winners Showdown, Blaine Keyes has led every lap so far here at IRP.
And you mentioned the timer of maybe 3.5 seconds of fall off. I think especially here tonight, you might to have a long one car for maybe lap 16 to 30 on the one instead of lap 1 through 15. Haas slipped a little bit, and we might have a battle for third once again. A little bit of contact off of turn number 2. I thought Haas was going to get past the 24. Look at Jack Haas whipping that second lane at ILP. Can he get clear off the corner? And he does. Troxell's going to stay behind him. What a move from that 39 on the outside here tonight.
There's definitely some grip up there, that's for sure. We have to see how that ends up shaking out the rest of the night. Troxell's going to try again, though, on Jack Haas. And this time he might be able to have that radius. Of course, outside groove here usually doesn't have the grip as the middle lane does here at IRP. Jack Haas was able to get to work that time. Troxell's going to try to take it away from him right here and back away for the 3rd position. And it looks like Troxell will, in fact, clear for that spot. Logan Williams stuck behind Avery Alford right here. Great run for Avery in this race. Of course, he's had some solid runs as of late going into this one here tonight. So we're going to have to see how well he can do in this event, starting in the 5th position, running in the 5th position. He's doing a great job holding his own right now as these two guys continue to battle. Jack Haas looking again on the 62. That's allowing Daniel Paulus Jr. to pull away for 2nd. We'll have to see. These two guys are pretty much on even footing right now as they keep swapping for position. Logan Williams was peeking there on Avery Alford. Not enough quite yet for the 95 to make a move, but he might have a shot here in a couple of laps.
Starting to see some interesting racing here as the tires get worn out. Got a great battle for the last 5 laps, I would say, for 3rd. And we might have a battle between Logan Williams and Avery Alford, but we have a battle between Dorn and Webb. And these guys are definitely starting to maybe use the bumpers here. This is a short track, but they're not wrecking them, just moving them up the racetrack a little bit halfway through the first segment. And we are having some pretty good racing here tonight at MILP so far. And unfortunately for Dorn, he's going to lose 1 spot, and he might lose a 2nd and maybe a 3rd.
You gotta be careful how they get stuck in that outside lane. There's not much grip up there, as we have seen so far tonight, especially evidenced by some of those moves, and that's why Daniel Paulus Jr. made that move earlier on. Otherwise, he'd probably be down in 10th right now if he did not clear Troxell on that first lap. Of course, he's starting to lose a little bit of ground to Blaine Keyes, who's got an 0.8 of a second lead on the 24 right now. And how about Blaine Keyes? 4 wins on the year for him. Of course, got the win at Pocono on Saturday. And definitely a driver to watch out for as his chase rolls along. The downside for Blaine, he's still 40 points behind. Still a little ways behind because of the first 2 races not really going his way. Of course, wrecking out of Chicagoland did not help this team at all. The Blaine Keyes has shown some of the most raw speed all season long here in the Wawa Cup Series. And once again, he is showing that here tonight at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Jack Haas trying to stay with this 62 machine as we got a great battle here. Drew Webb, of course, got around Kearston Bell and then got around Rogal Dorn, and now he's going to try to get around Logan Williams and Avery Alford. This 99 looking really quick here tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Igor Barreto won the truck race here as Drew Webb got in the Logan Williams there through the exit of the corner. And Logan almost went sent around by the 99, but thankfully they saved it. And they remain in their respective positions, but that's going to bring Kearston Bell back into the mix of this battle. And now Logan Williams is going to be thinking to himself, what on earth are you doing, man?
Oh my goodness. Well, we have a fatal 4-way battle here, maybe a fatal 5-way for this battle at the moment. And because of that, that's allowed basically 7 cars to be on the blanket back there. And right now, we've seen some really good racing, a couple of close calls. I don't know what Webb was doing right there, but I think Webb has a faster car than Logan Williams right now. And I think Logan Williams has a faster car than Avery Alford. I think Alford is holding these guys up a little bit. And if he's not careful, Webb might turn that 95 again. Because that 52 is still being held up. But look at Troxell. He's being able to pull away from Jack Haas, and now all over the back bumper of that Cheddars machine of Daniel Paulus Jr. But these guys are still trying to figure out the race cars, trying to figure out, hey, what adjustments do we need at the first break here in about 8 laps, and try to get some good adjustments and try to get a good pit stop for that second segment.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. The pit lane is going to determine quite a bit of how this race ends up playing out, because it is very difficult to make moves out there. Of course, we've seen some guys do it, of course. It's not impossible, as we got Loudovick Charette making a move there on Alexander Rowe. That is for the 12th position back in there. First, Loudovick Charette with that devastating moment in Pocono, blowing an engine on lap number 8 of the race and sending her further back in the points. Definitely not the season that she has hoped, at least to start off the chase right here. And I think it's pretty obvious that these guys are held up by Avery Alford right here. As Jack Haas has gotten back around Thomas Troxell. You know, that's all we got to do is just not focus on it for a second, and then we get a switch back in there. So Jack Haas looking really quick in that 39 machine right now. Of course, got the win in Martinsville earlier this season on the short track. That was a bit of a crazy race in of itself, but Jack Haas definitely had a fast car there, and he's had a very solid run in the chase so far, so we're going to have to see if he can have a shot at Blaine Keyes for this race win, trying to close in on Daniel Paulus Jr. here. We got 5 laps to go until the stage break, and Drew Webb around Logan Williams. That's all we got to do is just focus away, and they make the passes. Chase Buck also making a pass on Kearston Bell, and Rogal Dorn made a pass on Matt Tuck right there, so these guys are swapping positions quite a bit, and Drew Webb looks really quick here tonight in this Wawa Winners Showdown.
You know, maybe we should just focus on the lead and let everyone pass behind him when we are not showing them making passes, because that's been the case here tonight. Jack Haas all over the back bumper of the 24, and I think we might have some open drivers that could challenge Blaine Keyes, like Jack Haas. I think could be strong, Webb could be strong, Logan Williams could be strong. There's a lot of unknowns because unfortunately I think Avery Alford does not have the 1-1 car here tonight, and he's holding a bunch of these guys behind him. And have to see what happens on pit road, if Alfred can stay in that position, or if some of these guys behind him can jump him on the pit road.
Going to be fascinating to see as this race plays out. Now Drew Webb getting stuck in that outside lane. Chase Buck looking to the inside of him right there. And Logan Williams back to the back bumper of Avery Alford, but still no one's been able to get around Alford in this race, which is interesting because Jack Haas and Thomas Troxell will swap positions like 3 times. There's actually some damage on that 62 machine, which if they're going to have to repair that on the pit lane, that's going to send them back through the field on this pit stop here. And Blaine Keyes going to come around to begin lap 30. We're going to call the caution out here in just a few moments and get to our first caution break here in the Wawa Winners Showdown. So Blaine Keyes doing an excellent job here tonight at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Don't mind all the junk you're going to see on here. We were doing some testing earlier on. I'm going to call the caution out right there. Blaine Keyes is going to come around and win the race back to the line. Daniel Paulus Jr. holding on the second. Jack Haas is going to be third. And then it's Thomas Troxell, Avery Alford holding on to the fifth position. Logan Williams, Drew Webb, Chase Buck, Rogal Dorn, Matt Tuck, all getting around Kearston Bell right there as... Oh, no! Oh, no! I think Jack Haas just sent Daniel Paulus around in the corner. Oh, my goodness. He wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. And Daniel's not going to be able to get back in position because they're already down the pit lane. Oh, my. We're going to have to take a look at that right there. That is huge. Well, here we go for our first cycle of pit stops in this race. Will it be the only one tonight? We'll have to see how that second cycle, or second caution, ends up going around lap 60. Of course, cautions are still turned on. If a need for a caution is present, they will throw the yellow out, of course. Of course, with only 17 cars on the racetrack, less of a need for that to happen, obviously. But then again, we've had some things go on. Troxell's got damage. Paulus as well in the 24. Blaine Keyes going to win the race off the pit lane, and then it's going to be Jack Haas. Logan Williams is going to be third. Drew Webb's going to be fourth. Rogal Dorn, Matt Tuck, Kearston Bell, Loudovick Charette, Samudio, Rowe, Chase Buck, Semedo. Not a good stop for Alford. Then it's Barto, Troxell, and then Daniel's going to go all the way to the back of the field with that one after running second. Oh, my goodness. Always got some drama going on here, don't we? All right, let's go ahead and see what happened with Jack Haas and Daniel Paulus Jr. on the cooldown lap, and then get back to racing here in the Wawa Winners Showdown at IRP. Well, this right here is what happened on the cooldown lap, essentially. Daniel Paulus Jr. in the 24 wins second place across the line ahead of Jack Haas. And Paulus just slows down a lot faster than Jack expects, and that 24 gets sent around in the turn number 1. And the downside is, with this being a short track, he did not have enough time to get back in his place for the pit stops. Granted, too, he still had damage from that right there, so they had to repair the rear end of that car in that situation on the pit lane. It's such a shame there for Daniel Paulus Jr., who was running second at the time. Going to fall back to the end of the field here on this restart here from IRP.
Well, I don't know if Jack Haas meant to do this, or if this was just the case of Daniel Paulus Jr. slowing down more than what Haas expected. Ran into the back of him, and not a lot of damage for the 24, but gonna have to fix the white wheel a little bit. A couple of calls with everyone slowing down, like Loudovick Charette and Logan Williams, but Jack Haas, he's gonna take that. Gonna be in second for the restart, and we'll see what happens here for segment number 2 at ILP for the Wawa Winners Showdown.
Blaine Keyes is your race leader. Of course, Thomas Troxell. Saw what happened to him right there in his battle with Jack Haas and Daniel Paulus Jr. And he's going to fall to the back of the field because of damage to his race car. So it's going to get interesting right here. Let's see how it all goes down on the restart here at IRP. And we are back here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Pace car is coming down. I'm going to restart lap 34 of 75. Obviously, I'm going to get as much racing as we possibly can in. Everybody on new tires. Everyone took 4 tires right there, so these guys are going to be flying on the restart. But Jack Haas, oh, you know he's aggressive after what he just did there to Daniel. So let's see what he does with Blaine Keyes. It's Logan Williams, Drew Webb, and Rogal Dorn behind him. Everybody's still on the lead lap, except for Angel Gutierrez, who is out of the race with a tire issue. Logan Williams wasting no time on the restart on Jack Haas for second.
A great job from Logan Williams, and it's been a great year for Logan Williams here for NR2003, especially with the racing series, like the Wawa Cup Series, like the JBL Cup Series, and like the Subway Cup Series. It's been a great year for ratings, a series for Logan Williams, and a little bit of a foreshadowing. I'm looking forward to what he does for Twilight Racing. That's my teammate in the Tokyo Truck Series this fall. But he's not worried about that here tonight. He might get the race when they get some cash prize here tonight. And we might have a battle between Keyes and Williams before this is all said and done 40 laps
that
to go.
95 looking quick. They definitely got that thing wired up well here tonight for Appalachian Motorsports, and Logan may actually have a shot right here. Does he have enough momentum to move to the inside? He's got a nose to the inside of Blaine Keyes for the race lead here on lap 36. Right around halfway here in this Winners Showdown, and Logan Williams trying to take it away after restarting third. He still has the inside lane. This is an opportunity for Jack Haas to close in as well, and Logan Williams will clear off the exit of turn 2. New race leader here in the Winners Showdown. It's Logan Williams for Appalachian Motorsports. Second place also changing hands. Jack Haas in the 39 to the inside of Blaine Keyes, and Blaine slipping back after leading the first 36 laps of this race. 35 laps of this race to be exact. No, yeah, 36 laps. Regardless of the fact he may not get the most laps led of the night, because that was just before halfway when Logan took the lead. And now this 95 trying to pull away from Jack Haas and Blaine Keyes. Drew Webb, Rogal Dorn, Matt Tuck, they're close to each other right there. Got some good stuff going on all throughout this racetrack right now, especially with these fresh tires. They know it's the opportunity to make moves right here, right now. Got a feel for Daniel Paulus Jr., though. He was running second right there, got taken out by Jack Haas, and this is just a video game. You know, it's not like Jack Haas himself actually went out there and spun Daniel Paulus Jr. The game decided to have some fun, so no penalty right there. You see those tire marks going into that corner. Definitely a tough break there for Daniel, but we'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out once we get to the second caution. Will some guys come down? Will some guys stay out? Will there be a split strategy? It's going to be interesting. We remember what happened in North Wilkesboro when Nicolas Samudio and all those guys took tires, and it ended up paying off for Samudio in the end, who got the win in that Brant 400. Have a very similar tire here tonight on a very similar racetrack, so we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. Logan Williams, though, 3/4 of a second right now on Jack Haas for the race lead on lap 41.
You know, we saw it. Avery Alford hold up drivers like Logan Williams, Drew Webb, etc. That might have been the downside for Logan Williams. I think he had a really fast car before that. Who knows, they got a fast pit stop. They might have made some adjustments, and that 95 is gone here at IOP. Jack Haas and Blaine Keyes still tight between these two. Might have about a second here. But you gotta feel for Blaine Keyes. Before that caution, he was looking like he would run away with this one, but that's the thing. That is the thing here tonight. We have those stage breaks, we have those stage cautions, and pit stops, and the resets can change everything. And that changed everything for sure in this one.
And of course, that was the rule going in. We knew those cautions were going to take place, so we wouldn't normally do that in a regular Cup race. We wouldn't do that in a regular Cup race. I mean, I say normally. There are a couple of times where we were actually going to do that in North Wilkesboro, I do believe. Did we do that in North Wilkesboro? I don't think we did. We did that. We were going to do that at Bristol, and obviously you know how Bristol went, so certain tracks, especially on the short tracks where it's difficult for these guys to make green flag pit stops, you will throw a mid-race break so they can come down and service their cars. But regardless of the fact, this is going to be a very interesting race as it moves along, because I still feel like there's some faster guys back in here. If they move up a couple of positions, give them a restart, could have an opportunity at the race win. Matt Tuck might be one of them. He started in the last position. He's up to 6 now, trying to get around Rogal Dorn for the 5th position. Drew Webb, of course, we know he's fast, up to the 4th position, though he is 3.5 seconds off Logan Williams. They really wired that 95 up here for this run. The big question is, you know, we will have another restart in this race, assuming they don't come down the pit lane, which is possible. They might be able to stretch it. Will Jack Haas have an advantage on Logan Williams on said restart? That's going to be very fascinating. The tires are starting to wear out some more. Kearston Bell, Loudovick Charette battling for the 7th position. Samudio able to get around LJ Semedo right there. Trey Barto trying to make some moves. Really haven't seen much of him tonight in that 4 machine. And a tough break for Angel Gutierrez in the 36 machine. Only driver out of the race so far. A tire issue, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, especially on these short tracks. And thankfully for Gutierrez, because then again, for these guys who are not in the chase, this is a big race for them, because they know they can win something big here tonight. And for guys like Logan Williams, Angel Gutierrez, you know, this is their time to shine, because they're not going to have a shot at the championship this year. So why not try to go for it? Oh my goodness, Semedo and Alford really going for it. The fact that these guys are really wearing out their tires, though, they're able to save it. That's the second time we've seen that here tonight. Semedo almost getting sent around by Avery Alford in the back of the field. Got a feel for Thomas Troxell. Looks like you may have jinxed him right there. That 62 getting into that outside wall earlier on, having to repair that damage, and that car is just not the same as it was earlier on in this race.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened to Troxell, but that's unfortunate. Before that happened, he was looking pretty good inside the top 3, but obviously they had to fix that damage, or at least try to, under the stage break caution, and once he got to the back, he's not been able to make any moves. So, one of the later times, I'm going to jinx someone here tonight. Sorry, Thomas Troxell and Pacific Racing. But you know who is loving this trap position? It is Logan Williams out front. And he's in a great position, because if he can keep this race lead for another 10 laps, keep it until the second stage caution, maybe, depending on what strategy ends up happening, he might be in prime position to win this thing in that final segment.
It'll be fascinating to see if anyone does in fact come down, because if they take 4 tires, just like you're saying right there, they're going to be flying, because the tire wear is very significant. Like I said, about a 3.5 second fall off near the end of these runs right here, and they're going to be near the end of the run once they come down, or supposedly come down on lap 60, if they decide to do so. It's going to be fascinating. Will it be track position or will it be tires? That's going to be the big question. Logan Williams is still holding on to this race lead ahead of Jack Haas by 1.3 seconds. Blaine Keyes all the way down 3.7, and then it's 6 seconds down the Drew Webb. Matt Tuck's gotten around Rogal Dorn. That 54 looking pretty quick. He's going to love a restart. If he can get around Drew Webb right here, he may actually have a chance at it. And Trey Barto slipping back in the 4. Lots of movement going on all throughout the back of the field right there with those guys. But that 95 machine of Logan Williams. And this is definitely a Logan Williams type of race. When he wins, he goes out there and dominates, like he's always doing it. But then the other times throughout the series, he really isn't anywhere to be found up front. It's a very interesting combination. Of course, good enough for Caleb Rose to retain him for 2025. He is the winningest driver with Appalachian Motorsports, of course. 3 wins in the Cup Series in his career. Got the win in Nashville last year, won the Southern 500 last year, and then won Gateway earlier. And who knows, he may get a Winners Showdown win, which is going to be huge for him and his team owner of Caleb Rose. We'll have to see if they can finally find their stride and keep the consistency next year. They are absolutely going to be a threat for the championship. But we'll just have to see. It's going to be another strong year next year with all these guys. I mean, we have so many drivers who can win it this season with 7 races left to go, starting on Saturday at the Brickyard 400. I'm intrigued to see how it all ends up going down in terms of this Wawa Cup Series chase. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing who gets it done. Matt Tuck to the inside for the 4th position on Drew Webb. This is good. Matt Tuck might have a shot. Got the win in the Wawa Open not too long ago, and now here he is up to the 4th position ahead of the Titan Fury driver. Of course, Drew Webb is going to be replacing Matt Tuck in that ride next year. And Rogal Dorn looking to the inside of the 99, but not enough momentum to get that pass made. There's a lot of silly season news and whatnot going on. But some guys, of course, staying with their teams next year, like Thomas Troxell. 3rd year he'll be at Pacific Racing. Trey Barto retaining with Hairgel Motorsports, although I don't know about their sponsor next year. Hey, you want to know something, Nathan? Indiana's getting a Wawa. So,
that's true.
It's fitting, you know. Wawa Winners Showdown has been in Indiana the past 2 years. I don't know. Will we keep it here next year? We may. I mean, this has been a fascinating little race, and how about Logan Williams just stomping the field right now? Here we go to start lap 60, so the caution will fly here in just a moment. We're going to let a little time pass for these guys in the back. We got a lot of movement right there between Alexander O, Thomas Troxell, and Trey Barto, and Avery Alford. That'll be our yellow flag right there. And Logan Williams will win the race back to the line with 15 laps to go in this race. We're going to have a late race restart. I'm sure Jack Haas is loving that. For Blaine Keyes, Matt Tuck. Matt Tuck's got a shot here. That 54 is quick. He got stuck behind Drew Webb right there. It's going to be interesting to see how it ends up shaking out. Here we go. Will they come down the pit lane here, or will they stay out? Will anybody come down the pit lane and take tires? Logan Williams is staying out. He does not want to lose that track position. Oh boy, but Blaine Keyes is coming down right here. And Blaine's like, you know what, if I'm going to win this race, Samudio. No surprise there to see Nicolas Samudio take a shot at it. And these guys, they got to take tires. You got to take 4 tires if you're going to risk that track position. Of course, for guys in the back of the field like Samudio and whatnot, Samudio, Troxell, and Avery Alford, this is a huge opportunity for him. Huge opportunity. Blaine Keyes in the 41 machine. Will he take some left sides? Yes, he'll take right sides at least. Nicolas Samudio also taking tires. Avery Alford taking tires. Thomas Troxell taking tires as well. And it's a 4-tire stop for Blaine. 4-tire stop for Samudio. Oh my goodness, this is going to be some restart because these 4 guys are going to be battling it out while trying to maneuver through the field. This is why we did what we did. We wanted to replicate what happened at North Wilkesboro. Now the thing is here, these guys, they're only going to have about 13 laps to do it, so will they have enough time to get through the field? That is the big question. Let's go ahead and get to the restart and see the answer to said question here in the Wawa Winners Showdown at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Alright, we are back, and of course, cutting a couple of laps under the caution right here. Going to restart lap 64.75. 12 laps to go here in the Wawa Winners Showdown. It's Logan Williams, Jack Haas, Matt Tuck, Drew Webb, and Rogal Dorn, the top 5. These 4 guys came down for 4 tires. Blaine Keyes, Nicolas Samudio, Thomas Troxell, and Avery Alford. And they are going to be flying on this restart, let me tell you that. This is going to be intense, and it's all for a $40 grand prize, and the owners have some stake in it as well. So here we go. Let's see how it all goes down. 12 laps to go in the Wawa Winners Showdown here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. And a good jump for Logan Williams after the start ahead of Jack Haas there in the 39. But the big question is, oh, look at this! Nicolas Samudio to the inside of Blaine Keyes. Blaine getting stuck behind Trey Barto. And now Avery Alford, will he try to make a move on Samudio back here? They're going to have so much more speed in comparison to everybody else. The big question is, will they have enough time to catch up to the front? Alford looking on Samudio. Troxell, all 4 of these guys in the line. That is Samudio's teammate of Alexander Rowe ahead of him, holding these guys up right here. There's nowhere for them to go. They're so much faster. Samudio's got a nose to the inside right here. And now the question is, will he be able to knock these guys off one by one and get to his teammate for the race lead? Jack Haas is going to try to get to the 95 for the race lead. 10 laps to go in the Winners Showdown.
Those 4 drivers in the back, they have the 4 fresh tires, but do they have enough time? 10 laps to go.
Goodness, Semedo almost getting spun by Alford. They saved it. Semedo getting around, almost getting sent around there. They're having so much trouble getting around these guys, blocking the racetrack. But it's 2.8 seconds for Nicolas Samudio. Here comes Blaine again. Blaine Keyes to the inside of Nicolas Samudio. But they're both held up by cars with worn-out tires. And the top 2 drivers pulling away, Logan Williams and Jack Haas.
Oh,
how about Blaine? Blaine Keyes pushing Paulus around Rogal Dorn right here. Will he get into him? Oh my goodness, they're almost wrecking. And they save it somehow. Will they have enough time here? Blaine Keyes, he's got to make it 3 wide. He's got to make it 3 wide if he's going to have any chance here at getting the Logan Williams. But they're closing in, and they're closing in fast. All 4 of these guys on the fresher tires. Troxell on the outside here, trying to get around Blaine Keyes up top. That's his teammate, Chase Buck, ahead of him right there. He's trying to push him. Logan's still leading this race, lap 69 of 75. If they clear this pack, they might be able to close in, but they are having the hardest time getting around these guys with the worn-out tires. Blaine Keyes, Kearston Bell, they're just not getting out of the way because they're racing for position as well. And meanwhile, Jack Haas is all over the back bumper of Logan Williams. 6 to go here at IRP.
If these,
oh my, Blaine he just sent it. He just sent it into the corner. And now here we go. They're going to be closing in rapidly on these drivers for the race lead. Blaine Keyes will he make a move to the inside right here. Alford gonna try to make a move on Blaine Keyes. Not enough quite yet for those guys. Now they're stuck behind Matt Tuck. Matt Tuck's the biggest friend of Logan Williams. And Jack Haas and Blaine just got set around. Oh no, he saved it. He saved it. What a save there out of Blaine Keyes, and the green flag remains in the air. Nicolas Samudio on the outside of Avery Alford. And here comes the 59. Will Samudio have enough time? He's to the inside of Jack Haas, and he's closing in on his teammate. Here comes Alford as well, and for the race lead, Nicolas Samudio takes it away on lap 72. The driver who won the Brand 400 at North Wilkesboro on tire strategy pulls this strategy off, and he had enough time, but now he's got to keep Alford behind him. This is going to be close. Avery Alford with a huge chance and one of the biggest wins of his career. 3 laps to go in the Winners Showdown, and Alford's got to beat the guy who has, if he wins this race, tied the most wins on the channel. 3 laps to go here in the Wawa Winners Showdown for Nicolas Samudio and Appalachia Motorsports.
You got a feel for Logan Williams, but on the bright side for Caleb, it went from Logan Williams being the race leader to Samudio as the race leader. So he still has a car out front. 2 laps to go. If Samudio wins, it would be his Stewart for multiple reasons, but if Alpha can get the win, that would be just as the Stewart. It's going to be 1 lap to go, and it's going to be anyone's race for the top 2.
It is going to be intense. White flag in the air here in the Wawa Winners Showdown. Avery Alford has one more chance to get around Nicolas Samudio for this race win and the $40 grand prize, but he might just be a little too far behind to get it done. How about this? Nicolas Samudio is going to go to victory lane for the 28th time on the channel. He's going to tie Zachary Fitzwater, and he's going to win the Wawa Winners Showdown at IRP. How about that?
Wow. Wow. Samudio does it again 28 times, and what a fascinating end to that one. We had a car spin out, saved it, kept on going. I'm glad that I forget who spun out, but I'm glad
it was Blaine Keyes, man.
Oh yeah, Blaine Keyes.
He managed to bring it home third after all of that.
I'm really glad that stayed green, because what a finish that was.
Oh man, that was good. That was some good stuff right there here at IRP. Wow, and you know what? That strategy almost worked for Blaine Keyes. He took away. He went from being in 3rd place there, and it was right around that threshold. Those guys kept on getting stuck behind the lap cars, but once they got out ahead and had some clearance, they were out of here. And Logan Williams ends up finishing 5th, 15 seconds behind. The good thing for Caleb Rose, at least, is he still gets the $15. And Nicolas Samudio gets the $40 grand prize for winning here tonight in the Wawa Winners Showdown. How about that race? That was some fun stuff right there. And man, oh man, it just makes me more excited for the next 7 races we've got coming up here in the Wawa Cup Series this season. Nicolas Samudio is your race winner here in the Wawa Winners Showdown. And unless he won or Fitzwater won at Nazareth in the IndyCar Series, the time of us recording it, I don't know what happened in that race yet, but under the assumption that neither of them won, Nicolas Samudio has tied Zachary Fitzwater for the all-time winningest driver on the channel. 1 more out of Samudio, and he is the new all-time winningest driver on the channel. 28th career win for Mr. Edge. Nicolas Samudio has been racing essentially since the beginning, and my goodness, what a race it was here at IRP. Great stuff, and that tire wear is what made it so spicy at the end. How about that?
Well, that tire did make it very interesting at the end. I think if, you know, those guys on full flush tires, if they got held up just a little bit more, who knows on what would have happened. But as soon as they were able to get past all the slow cars on old tires, we saw the difference between Samudio and Logan Williams. Samudio pulled up to a 15-second advantage over Logan Williams on fresh tires versus old tires. That is definitely the right call. They had to go out all the drivers on old tires, and they did. Blaine Keyes spun out, and he still got the top four on 4 first tries. Got a field for Logan Williams right there. He dominated this one and lost it with 5 laps to go. But on the bright side for Caleb Bowles, like you said, he still gets the $15 prize for being the team owner. It was going to be Logan Williams. It ends up being Samudio. What a race. And you mentioned that Wawa is coming to Indianapolis. Hopefully, this event stays here for the Winners Showdown, because that was really fascinating here with all the tire strategy at the end.
Mm-hmm. That was good. That was so good. And for a race that was supposed to happen during Indy 250 week, I'm glad we pushed it a little bit later. We had a slightly larger field, and it gave us some time to really just work on this event. And wow, that was exactly what I was looking for when I really worked with that tire wear like we did at North Wilkesboro earlier on. And hey, Nicolas Samudio is the master of tire wear strategy races. He got it done at North Wilkesboro in the same fashion he did here, only here it was a lot more predictable. When we saw those guys come down, oh boy, we knew it was going to get good. And they almost didn't make it because they all kept getting stuck behind all those guys who were on worn tires. Like I said, such a narrow gauge racetrack here at IRP. Not a lot of room for these guys to maneuver, but there was just enough for them to make it. And really the big moment was when Blaine Keyes got spun there. You saw a replay of that take place. My goodness, man, that was the moment of the race right there when Blaine got spun trying to get around those guys. He was going every which way trying to get around them. And Nicolas Samudio kept his cool, kept his foot in it, and got the win in the Wawa Winners Showdown. Well, how about that one? And we're looking forward to what we've got this weekend at the big speedway in the city, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the greatest racetrack in the world. We love that place so much here on the channel. Obviously, you do as well, Nathan, being a native of Indiana. And of course, it's the Brickyard 400, the 4th race of the chase, the 24th race of the season in the Wawa Cup Series. And hey, Nicolas Samudio could have a chance at getting his 29th career win on the channel in that one on Saturday, noon Eastern Time, right here on AG the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. This whole night, a lot of fun here tonight at IRP for the Winners Showdown. And who knows, we may just come back here next year for that Winners Showdown. That was some good stuff right there. On behalf of Nathan Stablen, thank you so much for watching once again. Of course, there are no points, a non-points event, so congratulations to Nicolas Samudio and Caleb Rose on their race win here tonight. You'll be hearing from me soon on the prize distribution, if you know what I mean. But I think we've distributed prizes to both of these fellows before, so I don't think it'll be too hard. So thank you so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Nicolas Samudio on his race victory, and I will see you guys later.